Well, that was fun.
Are we back? Are we here?
We're on now, Mikey.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Viewerland. Everybody in Viewerland, and welcome to the Rundown. My name is Mike Pikowarski. I will be here to guide us through the program today here on the Rundown, where we do 2A news and conservative views, but I don't do the program by myself.
No, you do not. I am Craig DeLuz. I will be your co-host today, coming at you from the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. I am also your technical guru, so any glitches or anything like that, while it may be my fault, we will be blaming Mr. Piwowarski because, as we know, everything wrong in America is the white man's fault.
It is the white man's fault, and listen, the first technical glitch that's my wrong is that I'm not in the center of my screen, so I fixed that. So there we go. My apologies. It was a long weekend, and the room's a little off center. You know.
Well, Mikey, you look really kind of clean cut. You look like you may have done some played some Army this weekend.
I know what you're talking about. I've never played Army my whole life, so don't play at Army. I do sit behind my truck in a folding chair for 2.5 days because we really didn't do anything. But that's just kind of my thing this weekend. So,
well, you're looking mighty clean, bruh.
Yeah, listen, this weekend was a lot of, hey, what's he doing? I don't know, but he's been here a long time. Leave him alone. He's been in a long time. Leave him alone. Okay, good. Leave him alone. So
excellent.
That's what I did this weekend. Did a lot of that. Good for you, sir. How is your weekend going? How was your weekend going? How is your week going so far?
A lot of projects, over the weekend. Had a lot of fun. Had a good time. Did a lot of work, but also relaxed and chilled. Had some time. Spent some time with my daughter, my granddaughter.
Well, that's good to hear. Very good to hear. I did work again this weekend as usual. I think you've figured that out by now. So just it is what it is, right? But hey, we got something coming up. We're doing a little event here in the next 2 weeks.
Yes, we do. We're going to be heading out to Detroit. We're going to be joining Mr. Rick Ector and the folks at Legally Armed in Detroit. And we are going to train, I believe the goal is 4,000 women on how to safely handle and shoot a firearm. It's going to be fun.
I don't know where Rick comes up with the idea that he can tell 4,000 women what to do, let alone one woman what to do. So let's we will be there to assist and learn. That's for sure. So
most definitely.
If you're in that Detroit area, Detroit area, come watch the magic happen. And if you're an instructor anywhere in that area, your assistance is needed. 4,000 women's a lot of women. So
yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Use your help as well. So. Craig, well, as of yesterday, the Olympics are over. Did you get to watch much of the Olympics this past couple of weeks?
I did not watch any of the Olympics. The idea of taking time out of my day so that I could potentially watch somebody kneel as they play the national anthem just was not appealing to me. So I caught highlights, but that's really about it. Anyway, and evidently I'm not the only one.
Listen, I watched some of the Olympics. I had to watch the baseball, and then I was watching some of the volleyball as well. But then I was kind of it's kind of like watching exposition kind of stuff. It's just all right. Let's see. I've never seen the modern pentathlon in the past 4 years. It's glad to see somebody still doing it, so I might tune into that. But I think, like you said, you're just alluding to there, me and you might have been a very, very, very minimum of the people that were watching the Olympics. We know that we talked about it here, the shenanigans by the women's Olympic American U.S. soccer team, that it was all about politics for them instead of being about national pride and competition. So they went over there and embarrassing themselves and our country, and kind of got their asses handed to them. They took home the bronze medal when they were the clear favorites to win the gold. And again, Craig, I think you, me, and maybe their parents might have been the only ones watching the Olympics. It looks like.
Well, yeah, evidently, according to all the statistics and all the data, it was one of the worst Olympics out there. I think the last Olympics, it was, put it this way, it got fewer viewers than every Olympics dating back to 1988. That is how bad it was. It was like 43% lower than it was, the viewership was, than it was last year. And quite frankly, and then they noted some of it had to do with the pandemic, which I didn't really get that because, okay, so there's a pandemic, so there's not as much stuff for us to do, so you figure we would be watching it more. So you figure that might have been the case. But I think it was really two things. One was, in terms of just the timing, it was really off because a lot of the events were occurring in the middle of what would be the middle of the night for us. So we already knew the results before it even aired on television. But then I just think the other thing was people just didn't want to tune in and watch the woke Olympics.
Yeah, listen, the time thing, that's crap. Listen, every time there's an Olympic, it's halfway around the world. Either winter or summer every 2 years, and we deal with it, and people do it, and they delay it, and our media does a really good time of not telling you the score before they air it because they want that. So I think that's crap. When you look in the stands over there, clearly Japan had a everybody must stay at home or you're going to get samurai order in place because no one was in any of the stands. There were no fans whatsoever. And if you did see any fans at all, those were other Olympic athletes that were allowed to be there. So there were no fans in place there. And Greg, you're right. When they try to blame the pandemic, that should mean more people are at home watching TV, looking for something to do on TV, with TV, something to do with their time. This is, and we're seeing this because of what got pulled by this Olympic soccer team. I'm not going to blame it all on them, but it was a huge part. Listen, she's the Rapinoe girl. She is also sponsored by Subway. Remember, she's got this new campaign with Subway right now, and those franchisees have said, "Hey, we're done. We're done with her." Okay. How about somebody not controversial? Not that we want her not to be our sponsor, but we don't want her to be our sponsor. I'm tired of our customers coming to the door and taping signs on my door that say, "Get rid of the anti-American chick, and maybe I'll get myself a BMT sandwich. Otherwise, we're done."
Right.
It's. I think there's enough people now that are they're woke on the wokeness. Okay,
right.
Is that can we say that they're all woke about the wokeness? We don't want it anymore. We're done. Let's get back to doing normal crap instead of this kind of nonsense.
Right. We want to watch sports, right? I want to watch sports. And, there's a lot of people who talk about, the history of protest at the Olympics, but let's be honest, okay? When you had folks who were doing it in the 60s, that was when we had whites only bathrooms. That's when you had, we're talking clear, open, and blatant racism. And by the way, we've come a long way since then. It's not even close to where we were, we were in the 50s and 60s to where we are right now. And guess what? Things are going to be even better, 20, 30 years from now. But I'm looking at this and I'm like, once again, what's interesting about it is if you notice, most of the people protesting were not the black athletes, right? It was the woke rapinis, the woke white liberals who spent more time on their knees than anybody.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. Listen, it's nice to see that people are aware of what's going on, but play the game, play the sports, have a little national pride.
Right.
Craig, I did see a little stat that was kind of humorous that said more people 100 years ago watched the Olympics on TV than they did this time. On TV.
On TV, I know that took a minute. Like I said, long weekend. That took a quick minute, but I got it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping that these folks start to get the message, and it's just like, leave the politics out of it. I don't care if you, let me clarify. I don't care if you agree with me. I don't want politics in my sports. Period. I don't mind if you are in sports or in entertainment and you have political views. That's fine. But when I'm tuning in to watch you sing a song, to watch you play a sport, I'm not there for a political message. If I don't care what you have to, any more about what you have to say about politics than I want to watch a politician sing or shoot a ball.
Right. Now, if we reverse that and shoot at politicians, we could probably get the viewership back up on the Olympics. That's Mike
Piwowarski, and for the secret, in case the Secret Service is listening.
I believe I said the word "if" in there. I believe
if you did say if. You did say if.
those are key words. If and when it's like shall versus should. It's just different word. May versus must. You got to learn the right legal terms when you're throwing these phrases around. Yeah, people are done. Nobody wants to watch the Olympics anymore. Nobody wants to see that kind of nonsense. Subway's done with them. Done with this girl, this woman, whatever the right way to refer to her is. They're done. They want you to come have their, acceptably comforting sandwich rather than have to deal with the politics. Nobody wants to deal with the politics of a sandwich, Craig. Let's just say that. Nobody wants to deal with the politics of a sandwich. They just want a sandwich. They just tried to give away 1 million sandwiches, and they can't even give away 1 million sandwiches.
Right.
Nobody wants to deal with it.
Right. Exactly. And you would think that they would start to get it when, well, like I said, you look at NBC, 43% fewer people watch these Olympics than the last Olympics. That ought to tell you something. It ought to tell you that there's a huge group of people that tuned out. And we're telling you, in case you don't know, we're telling you why. So keep it up, Olympics, and keep it up, NFL and NBA and Major League Baseball. You guys keep it up and watch what happens.
Yeah, we're supposed to have the Winter Olympics in less than a year now. So, let's see if they learn their lesson. Because remember, this was the Tokyo 2020 games of 2021. So I remember we do every 2 years now we do a winter, then a summer, winter, then a summer. So all the games are technically 4 years apart. So we're coming up on the winter. Let's see if they learn their lesson. Let's see. Greg, what I think it is that maybe the reason there were less viewers at the Olympics and maybe there are less people eating Subway is because they were not a sophisticated enough crowd to enjoy what the Olympics and a delicious 3-meat sandwich has to offer. That might be the problem. They were not sophisticated enough.
Well, of course, because if you're sophisticated, well, then, you don't need to wear masks. You don't need to social distance. You don't need to follow all of the rules that the left wing, that the Democrats are putting in place in order to protect us from the Delta variant of the COVID. Because, well, hey, you're sophisticated.
Listen, I'm genuinely curious. This conversation came up at lunch today. What happened to the Charlie variant? We had the Alpha variant. And we never heard of the Bravo or the Charlie variant. Where'd they go? Or maybe it was the Gamma variant. Maybe we went with the Greek Alpha. No. But what happened to the other variants? Did we just skip over?
Evidently, either the Bravo and the Gamma variant were really nothing really major to talk about, or we have people who need to learn their Greek alphabets.
I don't know. I don't know if we're genetics or Greeks, but either way, we got we got Beta and Bravo, Charlie and Gamma. They're just out hiding, waiting for you to come around. They're going to jump you.
Right.
Charlie's in the wire. They're coming for you. Watch it.
Dude, you're looking like your internet connection's a little off.
Oh, that might be getting to me because I'm talking about sophisticated party goers.
There you go. Google. There you go. The folks on the Webernets are coming after you. Anyway, folks, in case you're wondering what we're talking about, is we told you that Barack Obama was having a big party to celebrate his 60th birthday. And as it turns out, at first he was like, "Oh, we're gonna scale the party down. It's not gonna be as big." They were talking about how everyone has to have gotten the vaccine and all this stuff. Which by the way, let me just say this: I didn't care if dude had a party. All right, quite frankly, we've kept having gatherings throughout the pandemic because we felt like, look, adults can make decisions. If you don't want to come, you don't have to come. Whatever, right? We've taken care of ourselves during this pandemic. But having said that, you don't get to go and say, well, you need to lock yourself down in your 1-bedroom apartment all by yourself, and you don't get to have anybody over, and everyone needs to social distance, and everyone needs to wear 5 masks, and then turn around and throw what, by any definition that your folks have put out there, is a super spreader event. If you throw a super spreader event, then you really don't get the right to lecture anybody on how they should be safe when it comes to COVID-19.
Listen, this is absolutely ridiculous. This is like you said, this is incredible double standard. This is just a hypocritical thing that they're doing. And again, so to use the excuse that it's a more sophisticated crowd. What does that mean, sophisticated crowd? Does that mean the COVID variant is now looking at your IQ before it comes at you? Or is it looking at your level of uncouth versus couthness? Is there a ratio there? Is that where the sophisticated crowd comes from? It's just crap. It's wait, this is the internet, right? It's bull stuff. Right? It's bull stuff.
It's because they're not what they like to call them, deplorable Trump supporters who refuse to get the vaccine. They're like, well, these are all upper crust people of color, which, by the way, yeah, the Latinos and African Americans are two of the largest groups of people who are of groups that are unvaccinated, right? So their attitude is, if you're not vaccinated, well, then you're not sophisticated.
It's amazing, right? It's pretty amazing. Now they're putting tags on it, but it's okay. Listen, we're having. They had the COVID Palooza up there outside of Chicago, and there's you got people packed from shoulder to shoulder, butts to butts, just all over the place, and that's okay. That's not going to be a problem. We guaranteed when it spikes there in Illinois and Chicago, they're not going to tell you anything about that. Well, they'll probably blame it on the guns in Chicago.
Clearly, Mikey, those who have not gotten the vaccine are now considered you people.
You people. There we go. You people. Yeah.
You people.
Listen, folks, every day. Listen, and I don't want to get too off on the deep end in this, but every day there's always information out there about the vaccination. I know this Delta variant they're saying it spreads quicker, but they're also saying now it's nowhere near as dangerous, whether you're vaccinated or unvaccinated. Of course, they looked at the vaccinated people first. They're also looking at the unvaccinated. And it's not there. Craig, I don't even like to talk about facts or statistics anymore when it comes to COVID, because no matter what Dr. Fakey or anybody else puts out, within 5 minutes, there will be a story completely countering that based upon scientific facts. It's just, this has become so political that there is no way whatsoever to depend on anybody when it comes to fighting this virus. Now, when we get to the parting shot, there is one man that I will listen to when it comes to fighting the virus, but we'll get there when we get there. So Craig, it's just, I think you and we shared a couple facts back and forth over the weekend for our own pleasures. It doesn't matter. You could watch something and you're like, man, that's hard hitting news on the reason to get the vaccination, and then you watch the next 5 minutes and you're like, my God, why did I get the vaccination? I'm going to die. It's just
right. And the problem is that I think in both cases, the chances of whatever the doomsday thing that they bring up is, it may have gone up, but it's still akin to the chances of getting struck by lightning.
Yes. Yeah.
It's just,
and I did it this morning. I go to the CDC map, which shows me all the hot areas and the red areas around the country. And then I overlay that, in my state anyway, in Florida, and then I overlay that with Florida, because Florida tracks via the county the number of ICU beds available and the hospital, and every time I look at that, they don't even come close to matching. Just
well, I think Broward County is the only place where they're really dealing with the challenge in terms of healthcare and being able to meet those needs. But that's because Broward County is so poorly run. You notice when they talk about ICU beds, they don't tell you how many people who are in the ICU beds actually have COVID, because there are a lot of people who are in these ICU beds that are not there for COVID.
Let me see. I'm looking, because you mentioned it right now. I'm bringing it back up here. I want to take a look at this. Broward County, Florida has more than 100 ICU beds available, and that's how they're rated. No beds available, 10 beds, less than 10 beds, less than 20, less than 50, less than 100, and then more than 100. And Broward County, Florida, hold on, you can see it, is the blue one right here. If you can see that.
Oh, okay. So then basically what they're doing is the media is lying, because the media is like, oh, in Broward County, they only have one bed. No, there was one county that only had one bed left. Now, that they may only have 2 ICU beds in that entire county.
And that's what they don't specify. Look, let me just kind of show you this map again here. If you see the red up towards the panhandle and the bend in the panhandle there,
right?
All right. That's the middle of BFE. There's no hospitals there. They got some clinics and stuff, but if it's time to go to the hospital, you got to go to Jacksonville or you got to go to Tallahassee. So
Right.
it says less than 10 beds available. Yeah, because there might be 2 in the entire county. You know, so it's just crap. You know,
When people
just
get buried out there, they just bury them in the swamp.
listen, remember I told you Florida is the dead animal on the side of the road state? Right. Well, up there, they just listen. Where'd Uncle John go? Oh, he wandered off about a year ago. And we're good with that. You know,
Gator must have got him.
yeah. The dog came back with a foot the other day, so we just figured he's gone. You know, so it's yeah. So it's just, you know, no matter what. Well, show me your statistics. Hey, you know what? Get your own research assistant. All right, it's not my job to do your research for you. You know, I know the facts I know. I don't need to know I don't need to deliver facts to you. This is what I do for myself every day. I look up these stats and I compare them to what I need to know compared to other stories out there. And I can tell you that nothing is, you don't even know what, there's no way to know what nothing is true. For this website I just showed you, I'm sure, Craig, if we spent 5 more minutes, I could find another website, a reputable website reporting the opposite information.
Yeah. I 100% agree. 100% agree with you. That's why we continually say, research for yourself, talk to those people who you normally talk to and get advice from for your medical decisions, and make the decisions best for you and for your family. I am not a doctor. Mikey is a licensed physician's assistant in the Philippines. So if you're in the Philippines, maybe he's someone you can consult. I will not be taking my medical advice from Mr. Piwowarski. But
I mean, you can verify this license, folks. If you go to the Sweetwater Institute, no, it's the Sweetwater Institute of Leg Shaving and Sensitivity Salon in Quezon City. You can verify that I have a license there.
And it verifies you clearly to talk about big racist rocks.
Oh my God, big racist rocks. I saw this one, Craig, and I think I posted it up Friday, and I don't even think I read it until about an hour before we went on air. But I was like, I don't even care what this is. The title alone means this. We're talking about this. It's big racist rocks. It's not even big racist rock. It's big racist rock. It's a large rock. It's a 70-ton rock up there in the University of Wisconsin in Madison, I think is where it is. There's a rock that was named after one of their former chancellors named Chamberlain from 100 years ago. This is listen, it's evidently a very special rock. This rock is not native to Wisconsin. It evidently came to Wisconsin riding on glaciers for thousands and thousands of years until it got dumped on the top of a hill or a small mountain there up around Madison, Wisconsin. So they had 100 years ago, they found this rock about 1.5 feet sticking out of the ground. They took it out of the ground. They put it on top of the ground. They made a monument of it. They named it after the chancellor who did this research. But evidently, Craig, and this is what really gets me, this rock, somebody used a racist term to describe it 100 years ago. Therefore, it's got to go now.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is how bad things have gotten. They're going to move. What did you say? It was a 70-ton rock?
70 ton.
Okay. So they're going to take
140,000 pounds.
Right.
140,000 pounds.
They are going to take the time, energy, and effort, and let us be clear, taxpayer dollars, to move a rock because someone referred to it by the N-word 100 years ago. I'm, for the life of me, I cannot believe. This is where we are, folks. This is what we are dealing with nowadays. I am beside myself. The only thing that surprises me is that this wasn't in California. That's really it. I mean, the only thing that I can think of, the only thing that would make this more believable is if it were in California.
I think this is, like we alluded to earlier, Craig, this has to do with white wokeness.
Yes.
And you don't get whiter than you get in Wisconsin. I mean,
No.
you get see-through white. You get I get extra weight to survive in the winter white. I mean, you get when you get white, you get white. You know, the Norwegians left Norway to go to Madison, Wisconsin, so they could be more white. Okay?
Right.
That's the kind of
The Swedish look at folks in Wisconsin and say, "Man, you're pretty white."
It's some white ass people here. like all like blonde hair, blue eyed kind of white. And I'm not talking about Aryans. I'm just talking about so light skinned they can't develop brown pigment. You know. And
if for the life of me, I cannot understand what the heck it is that they are thinking here. I just.
Greg, I get it. I understand. Listen, if they hung black people on this rock, okay. If they you used to write the names of the black people they were going to hang or discipline or put in jail on this rock. But
right.
Hold on, I'm going to say a word, folks, and I don't want you to get upset. But somebody 100 years ago said, "That's one hell of a ninja rock right there." Okay.
Right.
And that was it. They called it, and it's a different N-word, but it's close, right? They said that the ninja rock, and it was 100 years ago. Now, Craig, it's not like for 100 years everybody's been going past it like, well, how do I get to the library? I'll go up to the ninja rock and turn right and go there. Nobody said that. Okay. When they researched this article, they're like, oh my God, 100 years ago somebody called it a ninja rock, and that's it. Well, it's got to go. Well, wonderful. Okay, can we just start naming other things that too? If we, oh man, that's that's really a horrible piece of architecture here, and I want to build a big park there. So let's call it the Ninja Dormitory.
There you go.
It's got to go now. He called it a Ninja Dormitory.
I'll tell you, the amazing thing about it is that when you actually stop and you think, and I'll just use an example, the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party fought to keep slavery. The Democratic Party instituted Jim Crow. The Democratic Party, out of the Democratic Party came the Ku Klux Klan. The Democratic Party put in place welfare laws that have all but destroyed the black family, or in an attempt to destroy the black family. Planned Parenthood was created, coming out of the Democratic Party, supported by Democrats, in order to, the founder supported eugenics. A big part of that was, guess what? Reducing the population of black people. I'm like, there's nothing, quite frankly, there's no institution that is out there that is more racist than the Democratic Party. I'm thinking that the Democratic Party has got to be canceled.
We should do it, Greg, and I think the way we should do it is the way they should get rid of this rock, because I think they've already moved it away, but they should have taken this rock, and it's kind of egg-shaped, right? I think we should have stood it up on the small end, right? And then just move back and see which way it falls down the hill. And then whatever it kills on the way down, we could say, listen, it's clearly a divine intervention. The rock smashed those two people and a German car. So,
large racist rock.
It's a large racist rock.
Right.
Now, Craig, we did have another story that you didn't post on here. I'm a little upset you didn't post it on here, because after dealing with the sophisticated partygoers and the large racist rock, I had a very, very insightful story dealing with racism out of Africa, and you didn't want to talk about it. So,
which story was that? The racist lion?
Yes, the racist lion ate 3 people in Africa. There's a story where the lion ate 3 kids, ages 8, 9, and 10, and clearly the lion must be racist. It ate some small African children, and that makes it a racist lion. And what are they doing with the lion? Did they kill it? No. Did they move it away? Yeah, they just put it somewhere else.
So, when you say African, you must mean like African black children.
Yes, African.
Okay. Because there are Africans that are white. They just, they're not indigenous to Africa. But
sure. Yeah. Technically, I guess they are now a couple generations.
So technically, doesn't the lion then like black Africans?
Oh, he loves black Africans. They're delicious, according to the lion.
According to the
all
lion,
that was left is they found the heads of the kids. The skulls of the kids. But yeah,
wow.
Evidently, this racist lion is allowed to do whatever it wants over there. Why can't you people get woke over a racist lion? Simba's over there tearing that shit up, and you people have no problem with that. He's just over there rah, 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 going at it. Got a racist lion.
And y'all wonder why we didn't include the story.
Hey, Craig, I bring this up because this racist lion story makes as much sense as a racist rock. Okay?
There you go. Yeah. The difference is no children were killed in the making of this story about the rock.
That's right. Yeah. And let's make this sure. This is a big rock. We're not talking about the rock.
Right. No, we're not talking about the rock.
No, not
the big
about
racist rock.
He's good to go. Yeah.
You mean the large
Large
black
Chamberlain
and
James
Polynesian
rock.
rock.
Yeah. Yep.
Not quite as big as the big racist rock.
No, not quite as big as Big Race Rock. Yeah. So ridiculous.
Oh.
Craig, I gave you a couple of parting shots to look at today. I hope we've got both loaded because I'm ready to introduce both of them.
We do have both loaded. Which one you want to do first?
We did not have a firearm story today, so I want to talk to people today about firearms and COVID. So let's just bring this one up so I can read this to people. And tell
Okay,
them how
I have to tell you that I actually got into I don't want to say an argument, but I got into a disagreement with someone on Facebook over this, and I realized that I didn't read the whole thing. I had to go back and I had some apologies that I had to make, but check it out. So seriously, people, enough debates. Just go out and get it already. It protects you, your family, and everyone in the community. It's been scientifically, mathematically, and statistically proven to make everyone safer. The communities that got them are overwhelmingly safer. The chances of side effects or accidents are so unbelievably small that it's completely absurd not to get one already. Quit being selfish, quit arguing online, and go purchase a firearm.
So that one got you, huh? You got a little
It got
Facebook
me, man.
nap, huh?
It got me because you know me, man. I'm like not a fan of the whole vaccine shaming one way or the other.
Right. Yes. Right.
And I just flat out, the thing was that I went and I read it through over and over again. I'm telling you, man, I just flat out just did not see that last word. I don't know why I didn't see it. It was there. It was clearly there.
Right.
Anyway, but yeah, so they got me. They got me.
Yep. This is like the other one that says, I support mandatory vacations.
Yes.
The brain sees that and you start going off and then you go back and read it on the fourth time and you realize it said vacations and not vaccinations.
Yeah.
So that's another one that gets people. So, talk about mandatory vaccinations, talking about all the information out there with the virus that's available, with the vaccination that's available. I told you earlier, there's only one person that I believe that knows anything about how to cure a virus, and it's the only man I trust, and here he is.
Dude's been living with. I mean, when he was diagnosed with AIDS, everyone thought his life was over. Now, it was literally all it did was usher in the new stage of his career.
There was a 6-month to 5-year life expectancy with AIDS, with HIV, when he got in, when he was announced in '91 that he had the virus, and now it's ridiculous. He has no trace. Now there's medicines out there where you take a pill a day. Remember when you had to take the cocktail of $10,000 worth of pills every day, 40, 50 pills just to maybe live that 6 months with the retrovirus pills. Now it's did you take your AIDS pill today? Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I saw, did you ever watch the Comedy Central roasts? You ever see those?
No.
All right. Well, they got a comedians that get on there and just insult people all day long. And they had a picture of, or was it a picture? Flavor Flav was there. Have you seen Flavor Flav?
I have seen pictures of him recently, and yeah. Oof.
He's rough. Yeah, he's rough.
Yeah.
He's rough. And one of the comedians said, "You look how Magic Johnson should."
Oh wow! Oh, that's cool. That is kind of cold. That is kind of cold.
But that's this is the only man I'm taking any advice from on how to defeat a virus. This guy knows it. This guy knows the deal. So, folks, we're going to thank you for joining us today here on Manic Monday. I know we had a little technical glitch up front. I'm going to just take the blame and throw it right back at Craig because it was really him. And we apologize for that. And it was good stuff. Listen, thanks to our good friends at Grid Defense and Guerrilla Machining. That's Grid Defense, Guerrilla Machining. I have not had the chance to meet with either of them yet this week, so I can't tell you what this prize is on Feedback Friday. So we'll have that for you come Feedback Friday.
Yes. So remember, folks, please remember when we do Feedback Friday, you got to watch it at the Rundown. But you're probably watching this on another channel, whether it's the California Republican Assembly. By the way, they got a big event coming up. They have a significant number, double digits, of gubernatorial candidates who are going to be speaking at their convention that's going to take place in Valencia this weekend. So you want to check that out. It'll actually be live streaming on both their Facebook and their YouTube channel. But yeah, whether you're watching us there or you're watching us on Arms Room Radio or 2A News, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe the Rundown channel, both on YouTube and on Facebook, and encourage your friends to do the same.
You know, Craig, every time I hear somebody say something about the gubernatorial event or the gubernatorial debate, I always think it's going to come out of, like, you know, Georgia or Mississippi or Alabama, because that's where all the goobers are, right? I got the gubernatorial right coming up.
Got
Goober,
that
how's it going?
gubernatorial thing going on right there.
Hey, Goober, how you doing? Good, Gomer. How are you?
Yeah.
No, so.
My name's Mater, like tomato without the tuh.
Folks, thanks for joining us here. We always enjoy having you with us, and we will be back in just under 24 to give you some more.
I'll let you guys tomorrow.